So I've just removed these fish from the aquarium, and now that they're out of the aquarium, especially against the white box, I can very clearly see hemorrhaging, and that's the blood you're seeing in the fin. Now the fish hemorrhage essentially from stress. So they may have been stressed by the water quality, or they may have been stressed by the turtles themselves, or they may have been stressed by the lack of nutrients due to feeding pressure cooked processed foods. So improving the diet and getting the water tested is really the key. Now the water is also quite yellow, which you can tell by the color of the bucket. And that yellow is the indication of either driftwood, which is not present, or a Gilvan tint in the water. And a Gilvan tint in the water just means that the water hasn't been changed regularly enough. So it would be a very good idea to put a bit of activated carbon in the filter. The activated carbon will help to clear up this yellow Gilvan tint. The yellow actually doesn't look that bad in the camera, but in real life it's actually very yellow. So adding some activated carbon to the filter and replacing it every couple of months is definitely something I would recommend. Now the other thing too is this aquarium is sort of semi-outdoors, like it's in a garage. Now and there's one sort of 150 watt heater. So that heater it's an Aqua L heater. It's a very good heater for a turtle tank, but I have my doubts that one is going to keep this tank at 25 degrees. Now there is a thermometer sitting in the bottom there, and it's really important that the thermometer is somewhere that you can actually see it, because you need to be able to reference it. There's that spot on the side that I'm a little bit worried about. Not necessarily, but still. And so as far as temperature is concerned, having the thermometer somewhere you can see it, and just keeping an eye on that heater, because I don't really think that heater's enough. I'd really want 2 of those heaters. And with these big turtles, you really do need to have the non-breakable heaters. So that is a non-breakable heater, which I'm happy to see. But I don't think it's powerful enough to do this tank consistently. So I'll leave these decorations outside so they can get a day or 2 of sun. After they've got a day or 2 of sun, I'd recommend giving them a bit of a hose and then flipping them over, leaving them for another day or 2 of sun. Now most of these are pretty raggedy, they're ready to be chucked out. All these fake plants, especially the silk ones, they've only got a shelf life of sort of 1 to 2 years and they look like shit. So just chuck them out, get some new ones and they'll look good. On the other hand, if you just try the sun bleaching, sometimes you can be surprised how good they come up. No promises here. As far as the substrate is concerned for a turtle tank, there does seem to be a consensus that using these larger sized pebbles are better for turtles, because somebody's mum's friends, sisters, aunties, boyfriends, babysitter had a turtle that actually choked on a piece of gravel. Now, did that actually happen? I'm not too sure. It does feel like a bit of a fault if a turtle can't even swallow or spit out some gravel. But anyway, the advantage of these larger pebbles is that you can feel good knowing that your turtle probably isn't going to choke on it. Not saying I'm totally convinced that axolotls or definitely turtles choke on gravel. Lots of people have them on gravel, but there's definitely a suggestion that these larger pebbles are safer. But see all the sediment building up underneath the pebbles? That's the thing I don't like. So if you're doing regular gravel cleans and you're getting all this sediment out, then I'm happy. But if you're not, and all this crap is building up, I'd rather have the finer, so there's more likely that some of the waste is going to land on it as opposed to fall under it. With my tank, one thing I would definitely do is get myself a flipper. Now a flipper is basically just a magnet cleaner. It's got a blade on it, and it's absolutely the easiest way of giving your aquarium a clean. You just grab the flipper, and away you go. And you can just stand here outside the aquarium. It's very effective, very quick. So I hate these things. I'd rather just get a flipper, give it a regular clean, and Bob is your brother's new best friend that he met on Grindr. Oh, look at this. Skateboard named after me. Spelling's wrong. You're playing around with these canister filters. Before you open the filter up, it's really important that you have both the taps shut, because if you go and try and pull this open and one of them's on, then it often can spray water out everywhere. If you are ever storing a canister filter for any period of time, it's really important that you empty it with water. Give the canister a really good clean out because you don't want any smelly crap in there. And also pull the impeller out of the pump and give that a good clean out as well. Otherwise, when you go to set the filter up again, it often won't start. You can also really see how yellow the water is here too. Once again, in real life, it looks much yellower than what I can see on the video. Of mine, when they leave the nails like that, how easy would that be to trot on? When you're moving your animals, you want to make sure that they're as sparsely spread out as possible. One of the best things you can do is just agitate the water a little bit every now and then, because if you actually stir up the water surface, what you'll do is re-oxygenate the water. Beautiful for the fish. So check on Mr. Fishy, make sure he's okay. Check on his mate, just stir the water up a little bit. Stirs up all the oxygen to replenish his oxygen. Now if you've got 2 or more fish per container, I'd rather put an air stone in there. But for one little fish with a low surface area, just check on him every now and then. Give it a bit of a stir up. Turtles are okay, they can stick their head out of the water if they want. Like this dude. Just check on them every half hour or so. Give them a little bit of a stir, re-oxygenate them. And if they're going to be there for any period of time, or if you've got more than one fish that size, chuck some bubbles in there. Keep the oxygen up, that's the most important thing. The 2 products I like to add, definitely polyfilter. So polyfilter will adsorb and absorb anything impure out of the water, including any gases and so forth that the big pebbles may have accumulated. And also I'm going to put some activated carbon in there. I'd like this replaced in a couple of months' time, because this activated carbon will help to clear up the water. Take the Gilvan tint out of this water. Make it look nice again. Some more regular water changes are definitely in order. Ultimately, depending on how dirty your filter is and how much crap comes out when you're using your gravel filter, when you're doing your water change will determine how often you're doing your water changes and the height of your nitrate. So if you're just getting a lot of waste out of your filter, you should be doing your filter more often. If you're getting a lot of waste out of the gravel, you should be water changing more often. And if your nitrates come up, you should be water changing more often. And if any of this is a problem, there are sludge removing products such as Seachem's Pristine that you can consider using, and also consider better quality food. Better quality food such as Spectrum's probiotics are a much cleaner food, assuming that you do not overfeed it. So if you underfeed or feed the right amount, you will find your tank stays so much cleaner with better quality food. Check out the state of this filter. Okay, in the top here we've got some polyfilter. I love this stuff, but this is well expired. Polyfilter starts off white, and over a period of time it will change color to tell you what it's removing. Then when it's finished it will turn black, so for it'll look like that. So that's rubbish, but I'm very happy to see that, but it's way overdue getting replaced. Now the next thing we have in here, okay, now these are sponges, so you need to make sure that these sponges are cleaned with water from the fish tank, not water from the tap. I found a little bit more polyfilter. I've found some more sponges. Once again, this all needs to be cleaned in water from the fish tank, not water from the tap. Very overdue for a clean. Then I've got more sponges, and we've got a bit of biomedia at the bottom. So these fluvels are basically a big sponge filter, but by adding some polyfilter and some activated carbon, we'll get a much better result than has been shown. But it's really important that these medias have got to be cleaned in water that you take out of the tank. They cannot be cleaned in tap water. I mean, that water's disgusting now, but you don't want to clean it in tap water because the good bacteria will get killed if you've got chlorine in your tap water.